In this video, I'm going to show you the simplest way to fix the skinny fat physique. We're talking those physiques where there's a lack of muscle, a little bit too much body fat, maybe the belly sticks out of your t-shirts, but the sleeves aren't really hugging, maybe you've got some excess body fat around your chest. Either way, it's a physique that's not making you feel your best, and it's making you feel less confident, and that lack of confidence can have a massive knock-on effect in your life in general. Now, for context, I've helped over 100 men fix their skinny fat physique. Reese is a perfect example of fixing a skinny fat physique. He was able to go from this to this within 12 months on the dot. Now, there's a hell of a lot that goes into a full body transformation. It really isn't as simple as people make out of, oh, just eat less and move more, mate. Yeah, you'll make some progress, but you wouldn't actually fix the issue and lose all the body fat and get shredded at the same time just doing those simple things. The phrase, what got you here won't get you there, is very true. But it also doesn't have to be a crazy, overcomplicated procedure where people are talking about fasting and certain water intake and sleeping a certain amount of hours and having this kind of diet and going on this thing. And people just make it sound wishy-washy and silly just to sell products or push a trend or whatever bullshit's going on at the time. So in this video in particular, I'm going to talk about one part of the journey, which is what Reese did here, and that is a simple body recomposition. Now, because I want to cut through all the fluff and the faff and all the BS, and I don't want to use all the buzzwords and just make things sound silly or technical, a recomposition is losing body fat and gaining muscle, which you can argue that that doesn't exist, right? Because to gain muscle, you need to be in a calorie surplus, and to lose body fat, you need to be in a deficit, right? However, if you are skinny fat, the chances are you haven't been training for a very long time, so you can still get your newbie gains. So if you have a smaller calorie deficit, you can still lose body fat and gain muscle. So you're kind of fixing that skinny fat physique within one phase. So let's break this recomposition down into 3 simple steps. Very obvious and very boring. Number 1 is calories and macros, right? I'm going to be straight up honest with you. You are not going to get anywhere until you know what your calories and macros should be. And the reason I bring this up so much in my videos is because for me personally, I spent 6 years lifting weights, eating all the right foods, taking all the supplements, following all the plans. I felt good because I was exercising and I got stronger because I was training, but physique wise, I just looked the fucking same. I ain't gonna lie, I just looked the same. It took me a long time to realize that my calories just weren't right. I wasn't eating the right numbers for me to grow. I wasn't hitting enough protein to get the results I wanted. I wasn't even getting enough carbs to help give me the energy to push past my current plateaus. So getting your calories and macros are super important, and that's the first thing we did with Reese. Now, it can get a little bit tricky because his calories need to be based on his workout plan and how many calories he's burning, what his lifestyle's like, what his body composition currently is. So calories can get technical, but let's keep it really simple. You can use an online calculator to get your baseline calories. I do have a free nutritional blueprint in my bio. It has the exact process that I use to set up all my clients' calories. Yes, you want to factor in, how much muscle does this person have? What are their goals? What's their starting weight? How active are they at their job? What kind of training you're doing? But look, use the calculator, get a rough idea where your calories should be, and then track your weigh-ins. And from those weigh-ins, you will start to see if you're eating too much or too little, and you can adjust those numbers accordingly. But with a recomposition, I generally think it's a lot better to have a smaller calorie deficit. And the reason for this is very simple. If you are massive and overweight and you're 300 pounds you need to lose, then yeah, sure, big old calorie deficit, get on with it, right? But if you're skinny fat and you're in 1,000, 2,000 calorie deficit, you're going to lose what very little muscle you have, and you certainly won't be gaining any more muscle, right? So a smaller calorie deficit, somewhere between 300, maybe 500 is normally where I put most of my clients, is ideal, because 500 times 7 days of the week is 3,500 calories. That's a pound of fat, good times, right? And because that calorie deficit is not too big, you will retain more energy, which means your performance in the gym will go up, and you've got more likelihood of you actually being able to recover and gain a little bit of muscle if you still got newbie gains to tap into, which is exactly how Reese was able to gain muscle, because this whole transformation I've just shown you, that was done in a calorie deficit. So you can gain muscle and lose body fat at the same time if your numbers are right. So if you want to know specifically what your numbers are, use the one in the bio or just Google one. I don't care, as long as you pick a number and start to work with it. Now, part 2, of course, is going to be the training, right? What kind of training should you be doing to lose body fat and gain muscle? Should you do cardio? Should you lift weights? Should you take creatine? What? All these questions that pop into your mind. What's the best training split? Again, training can get technical, and I think at certain times it should be technical depending on the person and if they're seeing results. But some people can get away with a very basic training program. Some people like myself, I need a lot more specificity with my training because I've got shit chest, got long ass noodly arms, and I'm not even that fucking tall. So my training is quite specific for me. I always struggle with chest activation. So that's besides the point. We're not here to talk about me. With Reese, again, we have to be specific with Reese. He's very tall. He has very narrow shoulders, very long arms, and he holds a lot of his body fat around his waistline. So for his training, we needed to make sure that we had a lot of pressing movements to build up the weaker areas on his physique. We needed to focus on his shoulder development to give him a bit more width at the top of his body, to make his waistline look even smaller when he loses the body fat. And we wanted to utilize his legs in the training to burn as much calories as possible. So plain and simple, we had a 3-day training split, a pull push legs, basic bro training split with a focus on shoulders, pushing movements, and a lot of compound movements on his legs. Of course, I put this together for him because he's one of my clients, but in your case, you could just go with a basic resistance training routine and slowly adapt it around your weak areas. I wouldn't overthink the training at the start, because if your food is right and you're consistently hitting the gym and you're somewhat overloading with reps or weight and your form's pretty good, you're going to get a majority of your transformation just doing the basics. That's why I'm not a big fan of all these influencer like download my workout app or try this plan. Good place to start, good baseline, and you can't really go wrong with it. But I've got many clients that have come from those apps from other trainers, influencers, whatever you want to call them, and then when I've looked at the routine they were following for their goals and their physique, it's been completely backwards and it's got nowhere. So I would just say start with a basic workout routine where you're hitting each muscle group once per week. Track those workouts so you're adding reps and or weight over time. Pretty much good to go. Now, the reason I'm saying tracking the reps and your weight over time is if you want to gain muscle whilst being in a calorie deficit, you're generally better off getting stronger. Yes, we want to train for muscle hypertrophy, adding reps. I get it, right? There's no one size that fits all. It's not right or wrong to go, I'm going to do 4 sets of 10 on this movement, and then some other guys go, nah, do 5x5, bro. Or no, do heavy singles, bro. Doesn't matter, right? In the long term, yes, because you're going to adapt and hit plateaus. But for the starting point, just meet yourself in the middle. Go for 4 sets of 10. If you're getting 4 sets of 10 with a certain weight, increase the weight. If you're not getting 4 sets of 10, try and build up those reps to get there. And if you can't build up the reps and it's a little bit heavy, maybe drop the weight down slightly. Point being is you need to have a plan of progression. There's no point just going, I'm going to follow this workout plan because Mr. Influencer on steroids told me to, and he told me to use his discount fucking Gymshark code for 10% off bullshit. You're better off just focusing on the basics and actually making sure that you're actually training with intent. Now with Reese, what we did here is we programmed his workouts. He then went away, did the workouts, tracked them. Then each week I would review it and make any adjustments needed so that we're continuously moving forward. Because if you're not tracking your workouts and you're not continuously reviewing it, it's very easy just to go through the motions, go to the gym, do your little chest press. Oh, that machine's taken, so I'll do some bicep curls. Oh, I'll do this one, snap a picture, go home. It's not really going to work, is it? So track your workouts, progressively overload them either with weight or reps. And if something stops working, look at options for tweaking it slightly. So yes, that's kind of vague over the workout side of things. I do think sticking to the basics, tracking it and overloading it over time is going to be great. And if you hit a plateau because you're tracking it, you know what sort of things to change. You might need to add weight, reps, you might even need to work on your form and tempo. But you can't really go wrong sticking to the basics. Now, as for the cardio side of things, losing body fat, yeah, of course, doing cardio is great. It's good for fitness, VO2 max for your long-term health and adaptation. It might help you get more reps because you're getting fitter, and you're going to spend more calories, so it makes the food side of things a lot easier. However, if you're doing excessive cardio, like let's say you're doing 80% cardio, 20% resistance, then you're probably not going to gain much muscle on that recomposition. I've actually had clients where they've gone off and done way too much cardio and lost muscle. Now, if you don't care about muscle, do cardio. It's great, right? If you want to build a physique, you don't even need to do any cardio, to be quite frank with you. I'll show you one of my transformations on screen, but I didn't do any cardio at all. Not that I don't want to, I actually quite enjoy cardio. I find it very therapeutic, but as you get older, as you get busier, you have less time, so you want to prioritize what's going to work best. And for me, that's lifting weights and getting stronger, which is going to give me the best result physique-wise. So I wouldn't say you need to do cardio on a cut. I certainly wouldn't prioritize it. If you want to add it in because you enjoy it or want to speed up, how many calories you're burning, definitely chuck it in, but it's not mandatory. In fact, Reese actually did fuck all cardio. Now, step 3 of a recomposition, and yes, we could talk about water intake, which is very important. We could talk about how many hours a night you need to sleep, which is also very important. But the reality is, if you're, hitting your calories and training well, and your sleep's a little off, you're still going to get good results. If your calories are absolutely shite and you're not consistent, but you're sleeping like a baby, you're not going to get any results, right? The numbers matter most, which is why the third point is track and review as often as you can. Now, what I do with my clients and what I've done with Reese is we tracked his weigh-ins so we can monitor his weight fluctuations to make sure his food's correct, and it means we can adjust it when we need to. We tracked his workouts so we can monitor his overload and his strength and his progression, and if he was plateauing or if anything wasn't working. We tracked his progress photos once per week, and we reviewed them side by side so we can see what's working and what isn't. We also looked at his macros within his calories as well to make sure he's getting enough protein, that his fats and carbs are still sufficient, and that he's actually looking after his body long term. And then, of course, after those things are going well, we would then monitor stress levels, sleep, and of course water intake, and then maybe look at supplementation. But to be honest with you, I used to even work in a supplement store. A lot of it's just crap you don't need. Protein shakes are great to top up your protein, multivitamins if you're lacking, and creatine does what it says, but it's not mandatory, so you don't have to. And that's about it, to be honest with you. Pre-workouts are just glorified caffeine, which I'm a big fan of caffeine. A bit of ASMR for you there. Make sure you like the video if you like coffee sips. But yes, tracking everything once per week. Now, this is great for several reasons. One, it means you're actually on target, so you're going to continue to move forward, which is going to boost your motivation as well, because that's a huge thing. A lot of people aren't motivated. That's why they're skinny fat to start with. Two, it means that you're not relying on guesswork, so you're not going to spend a month thinking you're getting somewhere and realizing that your progress is crap, and then a year goes by and think, oh crap, I haven't really made any progress. It just means that you're speeding things up, you're paying attention to it, and you can adjust when you need to. And three, and this is a really, really big important one, is it increases your accountability. Now, of course, Reese had me going for it, so each week I would go through all this data with him, I'd record a video, send it to him, and he could go through it and see it, and then he knows exactly what he's doing. All he had to do was sort of plug and play and get it done, right? But it meant that it was easy for him to stick to. He knew what he was doing, and if something needed to be adjusted or accounted for, it was very easy to do, which is why he was able to achieve such a ridiculous transformation in just 12 months. He was able to lose body fat around his belly, his chest, and his arms, and then build up his chest, his shoulders, and his arms, and actually even get some abs for the first time in his life, which meant he was able to increase his career's prospects. He was able to get himself into a very nice relationship. He was able to just excel in all areas of life due to this newfound confidence. I'm a big believer in transforming your body will transform your life. For me, I went from being shy, insecure, having bad relationships, holding myself back in life. Like, I didn't even get my driver's license until later on in life because I was too shy, and I just didn't like going out of the house and doing things, right? I was just too reserved, and that was because of my self-esteem and lack of confidence. But as soon as I was able to get into the gym, in fact, actually, I trained at home first because I was that shy, but I trained at home, built a bit of momentum, started to go to the gym, started to fix my food and my routine, started to feel good about myself, got compliments, and I just came out of my shell and really, really started to seize life and do a lot better things with it, which is why I'm so passionate about this topic and helping people, because for me, it was life-changing. I've been doing this for, been coaching people for at least 6 years, and I've been in the industry for probably at least 10. I've seen a lot of men, transform their lives tremendously just from doing a transformation. So it's a huge, huge thing. Look, no one wants to get, fix the skinny fat issue because it looks good on Instagram. Most of the time it's because they want to feel good in their relationships. They want to feel attractive. They want to get a relationship. They want to be respected within their careers. I've got clients that are working with me to build up their arms and physique so they look good at their jobs, so they're taken seriously. It sounds silly, but that's just how the world works. For me, it was, I want to be able to go on the beach, take my shirt off and feel fucking great about it. I also play in a band, little plug, check it out if you like heavy music. But I was playing in a band and I don't want to be on stage looking like a dickhead. Well, you know what I mean, not looking out of shape. And I also, I just wanted to look the part. I want to feel confident. I want to feel good about myself. I want to be in my relationship and feel secure about myself because of what I've built myself. So maybe you're watching this video for those reasons, whatever it is. I just hope this video actually helps you reach your goals. Now, if you have any questions about anything here at all, you can drop it in the comment section. You can message me at Elite Transformation Project on Instagram, and I will gladly answer your questions and point you in the right direction. I always have free shit in the bio, so there's going to be a free nutritional blueprint so you can work out your numbers. I do have a free book a call link. That is because my full-time gig is helping skinny fat men achieve those results online. I don't always have coaching spaces, and I don't just work with anyone. That's why I don't like pushing this call link. I normally like to get to know people before they work with me. However, if you've watched this video this far, you're probably pretty concerned with getting rid of this body fat and building a physique and fixing the skinny fat and just improving your life. And for me, it was one of the best things I ever did. So if you want to book in a call and have a chat with me about potentially working with me, feel free to hit that link. As always, like the video, subscribe, all that YouTube stuff. Yeah, if there's any way I can help you out, just drop a comment. I'm here. That's what I'm here for. Let's get it done. Let's sort this shit out, brev.